So I had my brain injury at 35. It was Christmas Eve. We were on a family vacation, and I had an AVM, which is an arterial venous malformation. So it's a cluster of vessels in the brain that burst, and they bled in my brain and caused a stroke. And then I ended up having brain surgery probably about 3 months later.
Okay. So you were taken to the hospital.
I was taken to the hospital in Knoxville, Tennessee, to a trauma hospital. And then I was transported by ambulance back to the rehabilitation hospital of Indiana.
And how long were you at the rehabilitation hospital?
So the first time I was there for about 18 days. And then after the brain surgery, I had to go back for about a month.
Was the brain surgery to do a craniotomy or?
It was a craniotomy. It was to remove portions of the AVM that was in my brainstem.
And an AVM happens suddenly, like it's not something that you know about ahead of
Yes, no, it's not usually triggered by anything, and you don't know that it's coming, and you don't know that you have it until it ruptures.
So before you sustained your injury, tell me about what you were doing. Did you work? Did you go to school?
So before I sustained my injury, I was in the military, in the Army for 17 years. And I was also a social worker. I worked with children that had sexual trauma and abusive behaviors. I like to give, and I like to, be a help to my society. So I don't think that I'm too far off now that I'm in the situation that I'm in. I feel like I still love to give back. I still love to help, and I always want to educate people with the information that I've obtained. Right now, I am retired from the Army with 18 years. It took about a year after my injury to actually fully get retired. I volunteer most of my time to the Brain Injury Association of Indiana and to the Association of Black Social Workers, trying to improve my community, both communities, try to give back and make sure that I'm doing the best I can with the knowledge that I have.
So thank you for your service. I love social work. So tell me a little bit about what it's been like for you starting from the moment you basically started with outpatient rehabilitation to get to where you are now, and tell me about that journey to get to this point.
It was a journey. It's the only way I could think of saying it, because there were a lot of ups, there were a lot of downs, and there were people that I thought would be there and they weren't there. There were things that I thought would be available to me that weren't available to me. I ended up having to move back home. I never planned on going back home. Independence looks totally different for me, and just going back to a parent doesn't feel like independence at all. Not knowing what I could give back or whether or not I can contribute, just feeling hopeless and like I was inadequate and that I couldn't do things, and just it seemed like everybody forgot about us. Like once something happens, it's almost like you're living through it and nobody cares. And it's hard to continue to move forward when you're not sure where you fit in.
What were your friendships like before, and did that change after your injury?
So my friends, civilian friends, different because they don't have the same values as military personnel do. So most of my military personnel friends I had still had after the injury. They still came and see me after the injury. They were still there after the injury. Whereas some of my civilian friends, if we couldn't do the same things that we used to do, we didn't have a reason to hang out. We didn't have a reason to talk. It almost felt like I was being abandoned and I didn't know why.
Feelings of isolation.
Yes.
It's fine. The light's in the shot. Just a little too bright. No one will ever see it.
Sure don't have to try very hard for this.
No,
one.
it is in the reflection too.
Oh yeah. You'll never. That's.
I hope that you got all that because she's.
Oh yeah, we did.
Oh, no,
it's
we're good.
4K.
Okay.
It's.
I was just taking the
Okay.
light out of the shot.
I don't have to try for this one, literally. I don't even have to ask for anything. You're making it very easy for me. I know that's your purpose. Tell me about changes in your independence with driving, with working, with financial management. What did you go through?
I feel like it's a constant struggle with independence because I always feel like I should be doing more. Like I'm not doing enough, and I drive 30 minutes and I feel like I should have drove 3 hours. I contribute financially and it could be $50, but I feel like I should contribute 150. You know, in my head, I feel like my injury took something from me that I couldn't get back, and I'm always trying to meet whatever that goal is and then exceed it so that I feel like I'm actually valuable to society.
Are you working? Are you driving? Where are you now?
So I do drive. Definitely one of my achievements because it's really hard to depend on other people to get around. I do not work because, again, like I said, I'm retired and I'd rather give back than work anyway. It's fulfilling to know that you're actually contributing and that it's not about money, and it's, you know, you can still give of yourself without expecting something in return.
Tell me about your school achievements since your injury.
So I ended up going back to school for an e-social work program, and it was a kind of like a telehealth program so that I could work from home if I choose to, or if I wanted to provide therapy, mental health therapy in my home, I could. And it was just a graduate certificate. I already have a bachelor's in sociology and a master's in social work. So this was just continuing my education and giving myself a chance to fulfill those things that I felt like I might have missed.
Do you get sad when you think about your injury?
I don't necessarily get sad about my injury anymore. In the beginning, it was hard to talk about, but I realize now that my story helps somebody else that's not ready to talk about their story. Just being able to see other people tell me about things that they've went through and that they've overcame. I saw some type of help from that, so I felt like I would be able to help people in the same way. I don't have many regrets. There's a lot of things I've done in my life, and I still will try to do a lot of things. It is hard to be in certain situations and be around people that can do things that you no longer can do. I really love skating, and I have a friend that sends me skating things all the time. And the very first time that we did a walk together, I had my friends take me skating. And of course, I couldn't stand up, but for 5 seconds before I was on the floor. I had to crawl back to the table just to get the skates off, and I haven't been back skating since. And it does hurt to see the videos that they send of people coming up with different routines and just having fun, and you just want to be there. You want to be in the midst of that. And it's hard to know that that's not your life anymore.
So tell me what Villa Licci would do for you and those in similar situations.
I feel like Villa Licci would provide a community of survivors. It's something about being able to be around your tribe of people who understand, who empathize, and just know what it is to make those strides and to make those leaps every day, even when you don't want to, even when you don't feel up to it, even when you are hurting and you don't say anything to anybody. Nobody knows what that feels like except another brain injury survivor. And then to be able to say, okay, at the end of the day, I just want to talk about how I was treated here or how I was treated there. You don't want to be met with criticism of, oh, you're just complaining about that, because they don't understand what it feels like. But another survivor would. And to be, like I said, I never wanted to go back home, but there isn't any other place that I can go where I'm not trying to scrape to make ends meet or trying to just live with the same things that I felt like I've worked all my life to achieve. That there's no one that's trying to make sure, okay, you know what? They want to do things too. They want to live too. They want to have lives too. They want to have friends too. There's no one trying to create those communities. And Villa Licci, I feel like, does that.
So we're hoping this interview will inspire people to give. So is there anything else you would like to say to the camera about why they should donate to Villa Licci?
I feel like we as survivors can't do it by ourselves. We can put our heart, soul, and tears into raising the money ourselves, but we still need help. We still need funding. We still need others' support. And I don't know how to get other people to do that, but I would ask that you make that your goal, that you're going to contribute to this situation, that you see our stories and you want to make it better.